So our subject today is leadership, and I called it Introduction to Leadership because leadership is a really big subject. It's actually a lifelong journey, but we will kind of step into it and go on a small journey this morning. How many of you have been to any leadership training? One, okay. Anybody else? Okay. So the objective today will be to reflect on what really leadership is, because there are a lot of misconceptions about what is leadership and what is not. So we're going to see how, what is really leadership, what is the difference between leadership and management, and why did we start differentiating so much between these. We will learn how leadership skills are developed in general. We will reflect on the current stage in your own personal development, in your personal journey, by conducting a personal assessment. We will also reflect on the way your team currently is operating. It doesn't matter what, how big the team you're working with is. We're going to discuss that. And we're going to talk a little bit of what makes diverse teams successful. So it's about leading self, leading others, but leading also international teams. And when we speak of international teams, we will see actually that there are a lot of similarities, because whether it's an international or local team, it's what we call human system. So it functions according to very similar ways. But nevertheless, we're going to talk a little bit about international teams as well. Now, what just happened is very typical, actually. I've done this exercise across the world many times. And it's what happens is we have this, when we say the word leadership and leader, we have this perfect image of a leader. And nobody really fits that criteria. And usually examples people go to people. I emphasize now people in your life, but if I didn't emphasize that, you were probably gonna come with somebody like Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, or somebody who is really far from us and has been, he has this image of being the perfect person. Steve Jobs is the same. Steve Jobs is very far from us, so we see his success in terms of the mobile phone, but we don't really know his leadership style, and there are a lot of questions about that. So we choose these people that are really distant to us, and we don't recognize, or we have difficulty recognizing anybody in our surroundings. And in the few cases which you did, you said not everything, but he's, for example, you said it really in a nice, simple way. He's a decent person. He's very close to that. He doesn't have all that, but he's a decent person. Nobody has everything, and we're going to continue now and see what is the really full spectrum leader. What does a full spectrum leader have? But starting on this journey, the first thing we need to know is nobody is perfect. There's no such people. There are no people that really have it all. And neither do we. So one of the first things about a leader is actually to create awareness of who they are, what they can do, and as it was said here, find somebody else in their team who can do what he's not good at. So that's why we have this concept of the incomplete leader who becomes complete through the team he forms around them, he or she forms around them. So the simplest definition, I like to start with simple things. Leaders are people who have volunteer followers. I'm emphasizing volunteer because a manager who has hired people and he's paying them wage and they report to him, this is not really volunteer. The question is if this, let's say people move on in life, are they continue to see that manager as a leader, or would they follow that manager in some endeavor outside of work? So that would be a signal of leadership. Now the next question is, why would anybody follow somebody else? Again, a very simple definition of that would be that people would follow a leader if they believe that he or she leads them towards better future than the one they could achieve on their own. So this better future can be the destiny of the nation, and then we vote for somebody we believe, or it can be something small like, if I follow this person, I'm going to learn something new, or together we can achieve more than I can achieve on my own, or even I would make more money if I follow that person. I mean, it could be anything, but somehow deep inside we feel that our life will be better if we follow that person. Sometimes sometimes it's not true. Sometimes we believe that, but then it turns out that leader, and I would put brackets, is actually doing something for themselves, and they're not really thinking of us. But in the classical sense, this is what happens. So here comes also the possibility that any person that does exactly that has a chance of becoming a leader. So for example, in your team, if you're doing things that are good, you're doing things in a way that the people in your team will be more successful, will have better future because of what you're suggesting, they will follow you. And it's very simple, but it's very powerful. It ends up being about our individual interests. We're driven by our own needs to develop, to succeed. Are leaders born or made? Can anybody become a leader? And if yes, how?
Needs, let's say, experience and years of, let's say, with these objects. I don't know. It's not something that we can get from one day to the other. That's true.
Yes, so it will be not a good leader.
About practice. If you don't practice, disappear.
So we said that the main way of learning leadership is through throwing yourself into experiences that motivate you or give you the opportunity to develop new skills. So this is very important. We often are scared of the things, like we say, I'm not good at presentation skills. How many times you've heard that? I mean, it's like, I'm not good at public speaking. I mean, it can be, I'm an introvert, so I don't like being with people, or I am good at this. I mean, we have this, we judge ourselves very harsh, and we say, I cannot do this. So the first step into leadership is to say, maybe I can do this, I haven't tried enough, maybe I don't have experience in it. So putting yourself in experiences that can help you develop these skills. And I'll give you an example. At a certain point in my life, it was after, let's say it was 10 years, I was already for 10 years a manager in a company. And I already had some self-confidence that I'm doing more or less okay. I threw myself in a completely new experience. I was part of voluntarily, part of the board of an international organization. So all of a sudden, I was in a team with, I was at the time a director of a company. So all of a sudden, I was in a team with other directors of companies. So I wasn't in a team with the people I've hired in my own team, and I was leading, but I was in a team that everybody was not equal, but nobody could say one is the director or leader, another one is not. So this is an example of a completely different situation, because one thing is to be responsible for people that you're already working with and they are supposed to work with you. Another thing is to be in a situation with peers where you need completely new ways of realizing yourself. So it could be anything. It could be, for example, in the beginning of my career, I didn't know how to go to cocktails and do networking. I was really uncomfortable. So unless you throw yourself and start doing it, you can spend your whole life saying, I'm not good at cocktails, and I'm not good at networking, and I'm not good at public speaking. So we put this frame, we we box ourselves, and if we don't dare to try, we never will. And if we dare to try, it turns out it's not that difficult. Driven by a desire to become competent, driven by ambition, driven by a desire to become really professional, to have achievement, it's one feeling. If you're driven by the desire with your research to help, I don't know, some social problem or some whatever your field is, to contribute somehow to others, you're driven. Change the world. Yeah. So you're really driven by a different feeling, and that's the difference between the levels. So it's good to think of your own development, but at some point of time, it's good to get out of that and think, okay, I'm developing, but why? What do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? And that's where we really start being connected to the values we believe in, to our own purpose, like why are we here on earth? What is the legacy we want to leave behind? Because self-development, like this example I was giving you with the person, when it becomes an aim in itself, just develop because I want to continue to develop, it can become even negative. So the question why am I doing something? Usually the answers are more in the higher levels. Like we really find satisfaction, inspiration, and happiness when contributing to others. That's very important. To keep asking you why. Because until now in your life, you're in different stages, but I'm more generalizing. We finish school and we're good in school, and then we go and have higher education, and then we go and say, okay, well, now I'm going to be PhD, and we're somehow fulfilling what the society says is a good career development. But at this point now, if you're to really realize yourself with the research work and to find your future to develop as people and to find great careers, you need to really connect to like Dean yesterday gave you a lot of examples how to do it. This is another example, but you need to really connect with your why. Why am I here? What is it really I want to do? How do I want to make a difference? We don't just ask the leaders what they believe in and what's written on the website, but we actually ask all the people, normal people, what are they experiencing? And very often this exactly is happening. The leaders think that they authentically believe in some big vision, yeah, but they don't realize that everything they talk with people is about 1 and 3 usually. The key here is you cannot become more financially stable if you just think of, oh, we need to make more money. We need to make more money, we don't have enough money. So what you've started doing is you've started changing the program. So you went on higher levels and you said, okay, what do people need? What can we provide as programs that will attract students? So this is already, why should they come and learn with us? This is a really good example of something, and I want to make a point. So in a way, what's happening is the industry has changed. There are not enough industries, so we don't need more engineers, or we need less engineers than before. So as a result, our organization is actually acting out of fear because we're going to lose our jobs. Because if there is not enough students, they will have to fire professors and so on. The staff will have to be reduced. So we are really acting out of fear. Fear of losing our jobs. The question, though, is different. If we're acting out of fear, we might not find the solution. The real question is, does our society need more engineers? What should happen? Would our society be better if we maybe create more engineering jobs? And what kind of jobs do we need for the future? So if we think more of how can we contribute to the society, what the society needs, we might come with better solution than acting out of fear for our jobs. What you need to think about also is sometimes it looks really hopeless, like it looks so bad when we focus on the problems. And the fact is sometimes it's a matter of just when you're part of a meeting or you're talking to somebody, sometimes it's just a matter of reframing the question.
like reframing it and started thinking, okay, so like moving the conversation not from fear, but to opportunity. So what is the future I want to create, not what is the past experience and not what is the fears I have. So you could do a huge change just sometimes by asking a couple of questions and turning the conversation around. The ultimate checklist of whether you're leading people well is, do you awaken your opportunities for self and others? Are the eyes of people shining around you? Do they learn, grow, and contribute? Do they live better? You don't need any other lists of any other skills and all kinds of stuff. This is your checklist. If this is okay, if people around you, then you're doing well.